What's up, everyone? I have a pressing question on my mind, and that is, do women like murder? I asked this question because a movie just came out titled Black Phone, and it's a classic horror film about little kids being abducted by a clown. And if you look at the reviews for this film, they are quite mind-blowing. The reviews out there on the internet are all saying this is one of the greatest horror movies to ever grace the planet. If you were ever thinking of watching any other horror movie, don't, because this is the one to watch. After you watch this movie, you never need to watch another horror movie again, because this is the best one. That's a direct quote. With that in mind, I ask if women like murder, because when you look at the reviews, I mean, it's wildly apparent that women have watched this movie. Lila. I love horror movies, and this topped the charts. It's now my #1, and that's saying a lot. Another one, Danielle. 10 out of 10. The best film I've ever seen in cinema since Insidious. Beautifully acted, cleverly directed, stunningly orchestrated, fantastically shot. The perfect blend of terrifying, heartwarming, suspenseful, intense, uncomfortable, into whatever. Kelly. Best, most creative movie ever. Absolutely the best. Another one here from Carolina. This is the best movie Blumhouse has ever made. I've always pronounced it Bloomhouse, and people told me to never say it like that again. Regardless, look at this. Another one. Penny Lane. Best movie I've watched in a very long time. There was one scene, the entire theater jumped. Movie keeps you wondering what is going to happen next. Another one. Stephanie. Lisa. I mean, the list goes on. Women like this movie. Now, obviously, women are going to account for a large percentage of media consumption because they are half of the earth. I don't know if you knew that. That's a direct statistic. But I question if women like murder because while watching this film in the middle of the theater during a crucial moment where someone was being harmed by someone else, it was, to be specific, a stabbing. A woman stood up in the middle of the theater and screams, "Harder!" And I only thought that was during porn. I didn't think women actually stood up and screamed harder ever outside of pornographic media. But lo and behold, all my stereotypes of women were broken while watching Black Phone, okay? I mean, this woman used all 100% of each lung. She screamed it out, "Harder! Harder!" It was beautiful, honestly. Outside of the reviews on Rotten Tomato that generally feel fake or like, you know, the movie has been review bombed by some bot farm in a foreign country, this review I thought was really, really interesting. And I'm going to read it to you. This is from Dancing Queen 38603. 10 out of 10. Now this is how you make a movie. Woke Hollywood. That's you. Take note of the movies doing well at the theater. Top Gun Maverick. Parentheses. No politics. No gays. Are we sure there's no gays in Top Gun? Are we sure about that? Just good old-fashioned entertainment. Just like our horror flick right here. It has good jump scenes, downright scary scenes, and you got attached to the characters, you rooted for them, and you love the sister who's trying to help her brother, which is so wonderful nowadays to see in movies, rather than them arguing. Great film, scary entertainment, and a good ending. Thank you. Rather than them arguing? What the fuck? Kids arguing? That's what kids do. I don't know if that's so much a characteristic of woke Hollywood perception as much as it is kids being fucking annoying. Clearly this person has never had kids, because I would think that this film, for anyone who has kids, is pretty unsettling. You know, I don't even have kids, but it made me uncomfortable as fuck. The idea of being 10 years old and being stuffed into a van by Ethan Hawke. You know what time it is? I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN. You all know how I feel about going raw online. It's not something you should do. Matter of fact, NordVPN makes it very easy to be protected while browsing the internet. All you need is one click. With over 5,500 servers in 60 different countries, you're guaranteed to find a server near you for better speed, or better yet, a server in a faraway place so you can get more content. NordVPN is the fastest VPN out there, and Nord's threat protection is the next step in protecting the users and offering a safer and smoother online experience. Threat protection blocks intrusive ads, and web trackers. And when users download a file, threat protection inspects it for malware and automatically scans URLs and blocks malicious ones. With these advanced anti-malware capabilities, NordVPN has become much more than just a VPN service. It's now a powerful cybersecurity tool. And right now, you can go to nordvpn.com/Noel Miller, sign up for a 2-year plan and get a huge discount and 1 month free. And right now is a special time because Nord is offering a Nord Security Bundle deal. What that means is users can choose from a variety of plans to fit your cybersecurity needs. And the best part is, no matter what plan you choose, as long as you use my link, my code, you still get that 1 month for free. So choose the plan that fits your needs best at nordvpn.com/Noel Miller. Stop going raw. Start browsing protected. That's my line. I came up with that. Anyway, I found it quite interesting that a film of little boys being stuffed into a basement was a really great premise for a film, according to this person, but had it been a pizza shop, now it's political, okay? Now it's all about Hillary and fucking... This video is gonna get taken down. I guess it's because the through line of the film, which is surprise, some little boys die, but not all of them. And there's this weird coming of age story in this film where, inevitably a child has to stand up to an adult because the adult is trying to harm him, physically. And I think that actually is a very relatable concept to most 10-year-olds by way of just simply going to school. That is a fear that they have in their mind. But outside of that, I didn't find this film to be particularly good. Ultra corny, but I think it made me realize something, and that is, who gives a fuck about art? Honestly, look at great pieces of art in the last 5 years. Do you remember any of it? No. But the Transformers movie, I bet you remember that. I bet you remember that shit scene by scene. That's the other interesting part about the reviews for this film. Almost everyone says the jump scares were good. The jump scares were great. And that seems to be all anyone looks for in a horror movie. Never mind this weird ass story or the context or any of that. It's just, damn. At one point, the speakers got very loud and I shit my pants. That makes a good horror film. And to be fair to Blumhouse, there were a couple jump scares that, as a man that is very comfortable with his masculinity, I don't get scared in films. And I'm willing to admit that Blumhouse got me a couple times. There you have it. One by one, I'm removing the bricks of toxic masculinity by willing to admit that I was afraid during a horror movie. They definitely had some good ones that made me audibly scream. Not scream, it was more like ah! It was like a cockroach crawled out of my cheeseburger or something. There was a few of those. So it was good in that regard. And I do have to agree with these reviews that they were good jump scares. But I walked away from the film thinking, damn, is that what makes good media? Just sort of stabbing strong moments that make you sort of go get burned into your brain. It made me think nuance in a film is pointless because it escapes people. And I think the thing that really brought this home for me was, as I was watching the film, the sheer amount of people talking in the theater. It was impressive. It might have been the fact that I watched the movie at a movie theater in Fairfax, in LA, where everyone looked like they were lining up for a Supreme drop and no one really seemed to be there for the movie. Either way, it could have been that the movie was bad. Maybe it wasn't that engaging, so people were talking during it. But I guess connecting these reviews with what I saw in the theater, the thought that someone could be sort of talking through the movie while wearing the latest Supreme hoodie, periodically getting scared, and their review of the film being, damn, that shit was dope. The jump scares were good. 10 out of 10. That's all it takes. Fuck art, fuck nuance. You don't need all that. People don't care. It escapes people because they're on their phone. They're talking to the person next to them in the theater. Art is dead. That's what I got from this movie. Art is dead. Never mind any creative aspirations I had. No, the rest of this YouTube channel is actually just going to be me blowing things up. I'm just going to do the Michael Bay effect. I'm going to start small. I've always wanted to blow up a car for YouTube, but the movie Black Phone has eroded my faith in art. So instead, I'm just going to, start with a small object and blow it up. And then I'm going to keep increasing in size until eventually I can blow up a full-sized car. That was my takeaway from the movie. And that should seem like something that's fairly easy to let go of, or who cares, it's not that deep. And you're probably right. But I guess I walked out of there thinking, me personally, I guess I've made my own attempts at deeper concepts and deeper projects. And whether or not they were good, I sort of walked away thinking, wow, the real way to make movies and to make film is to not make them at all. Just freak people out every 15 minutes and give them enough time to stuff their face with garbage, and then check their phone, and then talk to the person next to them, and then they can tap back into the film when they feel like it. I was probably the only one in the whole movie giving a shit about the dialogue. I was that minority, not racially, but that probably qualifies as well. But more so, how all of this ties together is that I walked out of this film with a loss of hope. Genuinely, for some reason, it illustrated this idea to me that no one really cares. And I guess that's like, I don't know, would that be like a defeatist attitude or some degree of nihilism? I don't know, because I don't know what that word means. But it did make me feel that way. And I couldn't help it. As much as it was a good time, somehow this movie managed to destroy my faith in making art, which I guess it's kind of the whole point of art, right? You're making it for interpretation, and people can make it what they want it. So I guess you kind of know that going in. But I can say for certain, this movie is definitely not art. And maybe that's on me. Maybe I walked into it expecting art, expecting depth, and I'm the idiot. I don't even have a foot to stand on as far as complaining, because it was just supposed to be fun, which it was. I will agree. It was fun. But I guess seeing how much people loved it and the sheer amount of content saying that it's a good film, I had to question reality for a second, because I thought there's no way this many people, this many women, no, I'm playing, this many people are really getting online being like, wow, this movie where I sort of got scared sometimes watching a little boy stuck in a basement, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I couldn't buy it. I mean, there are better movies out there for sure. Where do we begin? There's all right, let me get off of faith, but pushing away my selfish interpretation of the movie and what I took away from it. The film itself, if you're wondering, it feels like pre-Stranger Things. The Demogorgon would be like if Ethan Hawke's foreskin crawled off of his body into a toxic waste pool and grew into something. But he would be like the spawn of the evil for the Upside Down. That's how I would describe it. And it definitely had this Stranger Things-esque vibe where you have these little kids being hunted down and they're needing to fend for themselves. And they also have dialogue that is wildly above their age. And that part is like, why does this 10-year-old sound like she's 36? There's also a scene in there which depicts child abuse. And that scene, actually, out of everything in that movie, that scene was done extremely well. And out of all the aspects of the film that deserve recognition, it's that. The girl who played the daughter acted her ass off for, I don't know if she's like 11 or something, sold that fucking scene. Impressive for a kid to convey that much emotion. And I say that genuinely. And I know it's genuine, and you know it's genuine. This is the first time I said it out of my face, and I'm not repeating it. For me, the movie could have ended right there. Runtime 23 minutes, just right up to that, and then just and then cut. I was like, damn, that's art. That is art. One of my last thoughts is people keep referencing the coming of age vibe of the film, and yeah, I mean, I guess it was a coming of age experience for people in the 70s to get abducted by a clown, or to fear of getting abducted by a clown. Stranger danger, that was a very popular thing. So who knows? Maybe I'm really on the outside of this and I can't view it as art or impressive or any of that, and I'm viewing it in kind of a pragmatic way, because I wasn't born in that era. I didn't live in that era where walking home you were specifically scared of a man in a van snatching you up. I took the city bus, so I was more afraid of getting in a fight or getting bullied or something like that. But either way, maybe that's an aspect of the film that I'm missing. You know, maybe it's just that I'm too fucking stupid to realize that no one cares about the movie like that, and neither should I. But that will not stop me from saying I don't agree with the overwhelmingly positive review of this film. People calling it 10 out of 10. Get the fuck out of here. I'll say this, the movie is 10 out of 10 with friends and being something that you don't really care about, but as a film, you know, as an overall, just putting it in the realm of all film out there, that shit was a strong 4 out of 10. I got to the end of that and I was like, okay, apart from laughing at how ridiculous some of this is, why the fuck did I do this? You know? So yeah, ultimately I thought it would be a good thing to put out my thoughts on the film because, you know, it's a lot of women that watch this channel. And I can conclusively say, out of all the little bits I took from the movie, the biggest takeaway I've gotten is that women like murder. So ladies, this movie just might be for you. All right, everybody, I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
That's my next big thing, she precious. I'm bad and the walls asbestos. Yeah, bitch, you guessed it, TUOT on my necklace. Spock done made like 10 beats. Now I know the boy getting restless. Jab my way through the session, doing too much, coming clutch, that's my essence.